And now to a developing story. U.S. and Somali officials are trying to determine whether a U.S. drone strike in Somalia has killed Ahmed Abdi Godane, leader of the al-Shabab militant group. Witnesses say the drone targeted 3 vehicles traveling on a road, 2 of which were hit by multiple missiles, but the 3rd may have escaped. Well, for more perspective on the U.S. drone attack, we're joined live by VOA State Department correspondent Scott Stearns. Hello, Scott.
Hi, how are you?
My first question, what are U.S. officials saying? Do they think they hit the guy?
Maybe, but we're still waiting for that confirmation. As you said, they know that they had solid strikes on 2 of the 3 vehicles. Confirming the strike on Godane, however, will be more difficult. You really won't know until you've retrieved likely DNA from the site, and that would be, more than 100 miles south of Mogadishu. That would largely either be up to some AMISOM forces or Somali government forces to visit the site of the attack and collect that information to confirm that strike. Now, obviously, this is a high-value target as the head of the al-Shabab militia since late in 2007, responsible for a variety of attacks against government forces in and around Mogadishu, the twin suicide bombings in Kampala, and of course last year's mall attack in Nairobi, which was meant to force Kenya out of the multinational force that's been so successful in Somalia against al-Shabaab.
Great, Scott. I want to turn now to another developing story in Africa, in Lesotho. Tell us what's going on there.
Difficult to say there as well. It appears that some elements of the military moved against the elected government. The whereabouts of many of those government officials is unknown. Given that political uncertainty in Lesotho, the U.S. State Department has ordered the evacuation of all family members of diplomatic staff there, those not employed by the embassy, as a precaution, saying that it has no way to anticipate what could be a deteriorating security situation in Lesotho, and really calling on military and civilian authorities to cooperate and solve this political impasse constitutionally, saying that multi-party democracy is important to inclusive political development and economic progress in Lesotho, reading from a statement from the U.S. State Department. And any threat to that model would be a setback not only for the nation, but also for democracy in the region. As you know, surrounded by South Africa, much of what goes on in Lesotho is determined by the South Africans. U.S. officials say they're reaching out not only to South African authorities, but also the African Union to try to get a clearer picture of what's going on in Lesotho.
Great, Scott. Well, that's a lot of good information for us. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Sure.
Scott Stearns reporting live from the State Department.